Hello, it's Jill at Embracing the Homestead Life, and as promised, we are getting ready to do our bee installation. And I'm getting ready to go back behind the camera, and my husband Greg and my son Aaron are going to install them. So I will take it from him, and we'll get started.
Hello, my name is Greg May. I am part of the homesteading experience that you've been watching Jill do here lately. I'm kind of behind the scenes a lot. You've probably seen a couple of things with her chicken coop that was built. That was another idea that I thought, hey, why don't we just have chickens? And it turned into a summer-long venture of figuring out how we're going to do that. We are going to start install our bees today, and I am nowhere by any means am I an expert at all in bee installation. So mainly I learned by just reading on the internet, a book here, First Lessons of Beekeeping, which came from a kit, and also my favorite one, Beekeeping for Dummies. And they probably should have a picture of me right here because I'm that dummy for beekeeping. But most of the stuff that I've learned so far has just been very basic. So I would recommend you even just purchase a book or get on the internet and try to figure out exactly how to get started in this. But I'll let you kind of experience and walk with us as we install these bees. Again, this is my very first time, so it can be interesting. So appreciate you watching and visiting, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Aaron, you come on over. Aaron is our 16-year-old son, and he's decided to venture in with us. Come on, step over here, Aaron. A little bit about myself real quick is I am a public safety officer. For 22 years I've been a police officer, a firefighter, and an EMT. That's what I do full time, but then it's almost like another full-time job, just kind of keeping things going around here also. Aaron's our big helper, and he's going to help us out today. It's his first experience also. So you ready to do this?
Why not?
Okay, let's do it. First of all, there's just a quick introduction to the hive. Brand new hive, got it in the mail. As far as in pieces of parts, you got to put it all together. Did that over the winter. You ordered it, and it's been sitting in the garage pretty much all winter. This is going to be the top telescoping cover here, and this is one of the Deep Supers hive bodies, and this is a Boardman feeder. We're going to be using this, but maybe not in the traditional sense that you normally see a Boardman feeder being used. And this is the official top cover. And it's got a notch on the front for ventilation. And you'll see later on, I'm actually going to block that notch up just for the time being until our colony gets a little bit bigger and healthier. I'll explain that in a moment. And this is our bottom Deep Super here. And below that, you have what's called the bottom board. And we've got the screen board, which helps us look for mites that might be falling off the bees, kind of check the health of them. And then this is an entrance reducer, and we'll talk about that too here shortly. First off, let's go ahead and attempt to put these bees in. Again, this is my first time, so kind of bear with me. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take the entrance reducer. From what I've read, you're supposed to just give it about a 1-inch entrance, and this is to help the bees protect the colony when they're still young and they aren't able to really protect or have a lot of guard bees. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll enter that on the bottom here. And basically, we can give you a shot of that here in just a moment. I'm going to take out 5 of the foundation frames. These are the frames. The black part is the foundation. Each frame was individually put together by Aaron and I over the winter. So maybe someday we'll do an introduction on that also, where you have to nail them and glue them together. So we're going to take out 5 frames and just set them to the side here. Actually, I'll set them over here. Just like that. Over there, we've got 5 frames, and next we're going to actually get the bees. They come in a package just like this, and we're going to open them up in just a moment first. Now, since this is one of my first times, this is one of our buddies right here. Since this is my first time doing it, I am going to go ahead and put on the protective veil. From what I understand, this is probably the most important part, because what I understand is that the bees tend to like to explore small little holes on your body. So you want to make sure that your nose, your mouth, your ears and everything's covered up, or else you may get some unwelcome visitors like that one there. We did pick this location in our yard. If you look around, we got honeysuckle that's growing all around us. We also have cherry trees, pear trees, and apple trees. And it's very nearby our garden, so hoping that it'll pollinate all that. I'm going to start off without wearing gloves. I may turn to the gloves in a little bit, but I'm going to start off without them. First thing we need to do is we need to get the syrup can out of here. Apparently when they ship your bees, they give them a feeder of syrup so they can. So from what I read, just pop this open. And what I'm going to use, I was going to try to use this, but there's something called a hive tool. It's a little bit more stout. And I'm going to just pry it open with that. And inside of here, it's supposed to be, it's going to be the can of syrup and also the queen bee. And we'll get to her in just a few moments. First thing we're going to want to do is, Aaron, if you will, I'm going to take the canned syrup out and also the queen. And I want you to cover that up for me, okay? I'm just going to hold it down for you. Got it? Yep. First thing we're going to do, there's going to be a couple of them that's going to escape, so hopefully just a couple.
There's about 5,000 on my.
No worries.
Yeah, apparently how many come, there was this a 3-pound package?
It's a 3-pound package, approximately 10,000. These are Italian honeybees, which are supposed to be pretty docile in behavior and don't have as much of a tendency to swarm as what we have understood.
One thing I did forget to do is I wanted to spray them again with sugar water real quick.
This will help keep them calm.
This helps keep them calm. I sprayed them about 30 minutes earlier also. And forgot to tell you too, you gotta give it a couple of jolts. And I know it upsets them just a little bit, but that gets them down off that can. Take this off. It's not as easy as they made it look on the video. Pull this out. Back up here. You gotta only have a couple of them escape, but they'll find their way back in. I'm going to set there's actually quite a bit of syrup left. I'm going to just set this to the side. We'll use this for feeding here in a little bit. Now, the queen bee. See, yep.
Yeah.
If you look real closely, it's going to be the longest bee in there. It's going to have a long body, right? See if I can,
Oh, isn't she cool?
see if I can clear them off a little bit here. See her in there? Right there.
There she is.
And these are some other little helper bees. These helper bees help to take out this little plug of candy, which is this right here. And they eat through that candy, and that gives her time to get into the colony there.
Very cool. She's alive and well.
She is alive. She is well. And unfortunately, I was hoping they would come with a couple of nails. I need to find a way to mount it in here, so we'll have to go get us capture us a couple nails here in order to get her in there. So, you want me to go grab some nails here?
Sure.
I have no other way to
No, yeah, we didn't get them out.
All right.
So, okay. I'll let you talk a little bit about them real quick. And
Do you have anything I can set up here?
yep, big old can here.
Alright.
There you go. All right, I'll be back.
All right. So as you can see from yesterday, how they were all swarming that can, and even after he's knocked them down, they've all moved back up here somewhat. But they are definitely a little bit restless now and ready to be let out. And hopefully here in a moment we'll have a couple of nails that we can put the queen in there with. I'll walk around here to the other side so you can kind of see the front of the hive as well. You can see where he put on the excluder, which was right down here at the bottom. So basically, as these bees are getting adjusted to their new environment, robber bees do like to come in and try to take over a new hive. So, and if these bees are just getting acclimated, there may not be enough guard bees per se to be able to guard the entire hive. So just having that little space to guard instead of a large area will certainly be a lot easier. And if you can see down here, that is actually a ½ gallon jar of sugar syrup that we have made, and I did use organic cane sugar to make the syrup. It's 1 for 1, 1 part sugar, 1 part water, and we're going to put that down inside the hive, as Greg will show you here in a little bit, and that'll be to start getting them fed. Even though we've got a lot of things in bloom out here, it will get them a good start because they are going to need to build their comb. And as he showed you in these frames over here, this is where, where they will build their comb and eventually the honey. They will go inside this first box, and this first box of honey and comb that they produce will belong to them because that's going to be their food for the winter. We more than likely won't get any honey this year. They're going to need it all to sustain themselves and everything that they're going to be doing, because it may just be too soon to take any honey from them this year. So, but again, we've put them back here. They're facing southeast. That is the best way to face your hive so they can get some of the warmth of the day and also be protected from the wind. We're out here in an open area, so it will protect the front of the hive from the wind.
The queen has returned, or the second queen, I guess.
I'm already here, but thank you.
There it is.
All right. So as you can see, what I did was, the idea is to try to hang this queen in between a couple of frames. That way she doesn't fall down in the middle. And there's some candy right in here which these bees will be eating through. And what happens is you take this cork out and you put a little hole in the candy to help them, the bees, eat the queen out of the cage. And hopefully once we dump all the rest of the bees on top of the queen, they'll start their colony. And let's move this. Can you move that for me?
Yeah, which one?
You can just sit it over on the ground, please. So what I'm going to do is I got to remove the cork first.
Just make sure you don't step over here. We don't need that today.
Take the cork out, just like this. And I don't know if you can see, but there is a little
4 minutes left.
piece of candy inside there.
Oh yeah.
A trick that I learned by reading is to take a paper clip and extend one end out and just be able to poke a hole through the candy. And again, that'll help assist in eating them out. So now I got a little hole on the top of the candy. You want the candy side up, again, because if there's any bees that would die while they're inside the cage, the little Hopa bees, they won't have to try to get around them in order to escape, in order for the queen to escape. So this way they can eat it their way up through here and then escape that way. Alright, now apparently comes the fun part. We're going to dump our bees in. What I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and put on a pair of gloves, not knowing what kind of mess I'm getting ready to get myself into. But they're pretty docile, from what I understand, just from being shipped. They're kind of tired, they're hungry. I don't think they're real pleased. But here within a day or so, they should be nice and settled in.
You got my glove.
And I'm going to give them another quick tap down here. Get them settled. Take them. This one, dump them right over top the queen if I can.
Wow.
There's about 60,000 bees flying around right this second.
Let's put
No
this
worries.
in perspective. There are more bees right here than there are in our whole local town.
Yeah, pretty much.
By about 4,000.
And right now, I'm very thankful for the gear that we have on.
Right now, I'm trying to get them right over top of the queen. They're going to naturally want to try to protect the queen. There they go. Come on out there. Now, there were a few dead ones in there just naturally through the shipping process. You're going to lose a few. What I understand, I'm not an expert again, they should clean out those dead ones themselves and push them out of the colony.
We were fortunate. They said we could lose up to have an inch of dead bees in the bottom of the container, and really we didn't even have a single layer. So we were very fortunate. I think the company that we dealt with did a very good job.
There's going to be a few more in there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them find their way on up in there. I'm just going to set them down here below the hive. And let them find their way in. I might actually take the entrance reducer out for a minute to give them all